Hey guys, welcome back to another flashlight review. So Nextorch have just released their upgraded TA30D Max, and I've reviewed the TA30C Max in the past. Here it is, and it remains one of my favorite 21700 cell tactical flashlights. It's got excellent build quality, reliability, and I also like that sort of one-step access to strobe and turbo with the same button. So half press for turbo, full press for strobe. I mean, it's really a no-brainer. You can always access it no matter what. So Nextorch have various contracts with law enforcement agencies around the world, most notably in the EU and Germany. So their products need to be able to hold up to the vigorous and harsh demands of first responders. And that's great news for the average user and guys like myself. So they're probably over-engineered for what I'm going to use them for anyway. So let's have a look at what's in the box. Now, the first thing you might notice in terms of accessories is this tactical ring here. So it's the FR3 ring, and Nextorch now include this as part of the entire package. And this is the box that it comes in. If you want to pause the video and have a bit of a read of all the specifications. Nextorch also include this clip. So basically you need to take off the ring first and snap that in, and then you can attach the tail on directly. And once you attach the tail, as you can see, it actually locks the clip in place mechanically, so you can't remove it. You also get a USB-C charging cable as well as a lanyard. So here's a little side-by-side next to the TA30C Max, and overall the design is pretty much identical. The markings on the tail are a little bit different, and I'll go through this in a bit more detail later, but Nextorch have removed the strobe setting, just the constant strobe setting, and replaced it with a lock setting here. They've just shifted around some of the modes as well in there. The biggest upgrade is the 4000 lumen output of the TA30D compared to the 3000 lumen output of the TA30C Max. And you've still got that same 450 meters of range, but just additional light. And I do like that Nextorch have included this FR3 ring with the pack and the friction clip as well. Nextorch also mentioned that they've added an ultra thermal buffer into the head of this flashlight, and this might be a fancy way of saying a larger or more efficient heatsink. Here's a little close-up of the Nextorch TA30D Max, and the machining and anodization quality is second to none. And these are flashlights that are designed for law enforcement and first responders, so they need to be tough. And yeah, the anodizing is slightly grippy, and I like how there's a bit of knurling here on the battery tube, further increases grip. It's a unibody design as well, so the head and the battery tube is a single piece of aluminium. So this is going to provide better heat dissipation rather than have an unscrewable head. And it's also submergible to 3 meters with 3 meter impact resistance. The light is operated through this switch here on the tail. It's a rotary switch, so you turn this section to flip in between the different modes, and then you've also got this switch here on the back which allows you to shortcut to turbo and strobe. It also functions as a battery indicator here as well. One thing to note is you can only have the friction ring or the FR3 ring on, not both at the same time. And the LED is an unknown LED. I don't know what it is, but it consists of 9 joined die surfaces. Just trying to get the light to reflect off it. And yeah, it's larger. It's a large LED than the previous model here. I believe this was an XHP 50.3 high. So yeah, it does produce significantly more light. Orange peel reflector, and it's only a very light orange peel reflector, if that even makes sense. A kind of mottling on there is very, very subtle, so you still preserve a decent amount of throw, but you know, especially with these larger die surfaces, you do need a bit of that orange peel effect in there in order to smooth out the beam. glass lens on the front. You got these 3 glass breaking beads, ceramic glass breaking beads, and the bezel here appears to be made of titanium. All right, little demo of the UI. So at the moment, I've got the light in the lock mode. So if you press any button, do anything, basically nothing happens. Now flick the switch into tack mode, and half press gives you turbo, 4000 lumens, and full press gives you strobe. And I do like how the tack mode is located all the way at the front instead of, if they put the lock position there, I might accidentally flip into that. If you want to go into the lower modes, there's a low mode there, and medium, high, and that's pretty much it. All right, so I ran a ceiling bounce test with the Nextorch TA30D Max on high, and you can see here the 4000 lumen mode. You get about a minute of runtime on high before the light steps down. You can see at the 3-minute mark, the light is between 20 to 30% of output, and just after the 8-minute mark, there is a minor step down, but the light's still again between 20 and maybe 30%. I ran a bunch of tests with my Opal Lightmaster Pro, and on the high mode, I measured 441 meters of range, which is pretty significant considering the dye surface of this LED is pretty large. And the CRI ranged from 67 to 70. CCT was more on the cool end, so between 5,900 to 6,600. Some considerations to keep in mind if you're thinking of getting the Nextorch TA30D Max. So the lock mode here, I don't really see this as necessary, especially on a tactical flashlight like this, where the tail switch, makes it just less likely to accidentally activate. And, I also don't want to maybe accidentally leave it on lock where I might forget and need to activate the light quickly. But luckily the tack setting and also the high modes on the other side is located at opposite poles. So that makes it very easy to locate in an emergency. The second consideration is there's no onboard charging, so this is likely to improve durability, water resistance. You see that in many tactical flashlights, but thankfully the 21700 cell that Nextorch include does have a charging port on it. The third consideration, and they're more related to design, is that this is a medium-sized tactical flashlight, so it will technically fit in your jeans pocket, but it's not going to be all that comfortable, especially if you're someone that's used to carrying around an 18650 form factor flashlight. Nextorch do a bunch of those as well if you want something a bit smaller. But yeah, you might have issues taking it past security as well, the checkpoints with these glass breaking beads there in the head. The final consideration is price, and I suspect this will be a similar price to the TA30C Max once it's released. And yeah, makes it no budget flashlight, but you do get much better construction quality. Nextorch also included 10-year free repair warranty and limited lifetime warranty, something you don't see on other cheaper flashlights. So all in all, the Nextorch TA30D Max is a solid upgrade to the TA30C Max, and the upgraded 4000 lumen output will produce significantly more flood. And I like that Nextorch now include that tactical ring instead of selling it separately. And yeah, if you're looking for a premium tactical flashlight, I think this is one of the best options out there. You've got one-step access to strobe, turbo, a practical beam profile with nearly half a kilometer range, and also bright usable flood. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And if you have questions, also let me know and I'll get back to you. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, click the like button, share the video with someone who might be interested. Just helps me to get my channel out to more people. And if you want to see more flashlight reviews, make sure you subscribe. The Nextorch TA30D Max here to the right. And on the left, I've got the Nextorch TA30C Max. Okay, TA30C Max, TA30D Max. So, like, it's difficult to tell, but it looks like the TA30D Max even has a slight throw advantage. It's very similar, but yeah, it's definitely brighter, the TA30D Max, as you can see here. And I'm just sheltering under this tree because I thought the rain would stop by now and I'd be able to take some clearer beam shots, but it hasn't, so I'm not going to count on it. I'm just going to continue on. And see people going past as well on their bikes. You can spot that guy all the way in the distance there. Now this is just the TA30D Max, and what I'll do, I'll put it on the lower mode. So that's the low mode, and medium, still decent, can still see through the end, and high. All right, let's go for a bit of a walk. Next torch, TA30D Max, and this is the highest mode, so basically the high mode, and this is really not the best day for beam shots, but at least you're going to be able to see how this thing performs in a bit of rain. And it's very easily hitting the back of those trees there. Let me just switch this over to the additional modes. So that's like the low, medium, and the high mode here. And you can sort of go from, if you're in the medium, and then half press to get into the high mode. Sort of flick in between high and medium. I mean, same thing if you're just on the low mode. Half pressing the switch. Nicely balanced beam. Lots of throw. You can really see all the way to the back of those trees pretty easily. And I'm going to compare this now to the next torch TA30C Max, which is the previous model. Okay, so that's the next torch TA30C Max. Okay, and TA30D Max, TA30C Max, and TA30D Max. So you can see the TA30D Max is significantly brighter. The hotspots larger and brighter, and there's just brighter spill in general. TA30C Max and the TA30D Max here. TA30C Max and the TA30D Max. I'll go for a bit of a walk.